Do. Emily, Laser Princess, Pink Raccoon. Season 7, Episode 13. The Killer in Me. It's the name of the episode. I am not a killer, as far as I am aware. If I were, I'm sure I probably would have been hunted down and incarcerated by now. Although, here, my abusive ex, I'm worse than a killer. Because I failed to obey her and put up with her transphobic bullshit. It makes me a bad person, according to them. Vision questing girls in the desert. This is one I mentioned earlier, where everyone thinks Giles is dead and has been impersonated by the first. Yeah, because Giles takes the girls out into the desert, and everyone's like, "Oh no, he could be doing anything to those girls out there." Really so tired of Spike. I'm glad he getting migraines. He's given me enough. Seriously, kind of bored with everything except Willow and Kennedy flirting. And then it gets gross. The whole thing is Amy bizarrely an antagonist in the series. Why is Amy a bad guy? I've never understood that. Her vendetta against Willow makes zero sense. Her whole thing, and the fact that it is so tied up with the magic is drugs bullshit, especially at that age. Don't people tend to try to be different than their parents, right? I don't know. I'm going to stop talking about Amy. She's such a minor part in the series despite all the crap she causes. Yeah, this episode is boring at best, gross as hell at worst, and it's just not memorable, which is probably its greatest crime. Excuse me. Usually I can remember what happens, how events play out, but this one I'm just meh. Something fixes Willow. I don't know what that's about, because she doesn't get fixed until she figures out what's going on in the end and breaks the spell herself, because counter magic exists. You think I'm evil if I bring a bunch of girls on a camping trip and I don't touch them? Giles' line when they get out to the desert and find him. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, Xander's a white cishet American man. That actually, like, that attitude that they have does make a lot of sense in that context. Not saying anything about anyone in particular, so stop saying that I'm misinforming or saying anything political. I'm not. I'm just saying, there seems to be an extreme level of tolerance for old men abusing girls in this country. I mean, how much of a battle has it been to get the Epstein files released? It's just the way it is. I'm not attacking anyone or saying anything that is not absolutely obvious at this point in time and evidenced by literally everything that happens. This one's going to get censored anyway, isn't it? Ass face. Perfect name for Spike. Yeah. Seriously, why is Amy like this? Oh, she's a whiny Frank Grimes bitch. You know Frank Grimes? I'm sure everyone's heard of Frank Grimes. But yeah, that was at that point I was just like, oh, that's her motivation. Someone else had an easier time of life than she did. So she's gonna turn on the world and like cause havoc for that reason. Like honestly, I have been treated like absolute garbage since I was born. And the one thing I've never really thought of outside of like, making a joke of it is like wanting to make people suffer because I've suffered. I know plenty of people who are like that. My ex is like that. She definitely has that attitude of like everyone needs to be reduced to my level of misery. And it's like, okay, just seems to me like the dumbest way of looking at the world. There's so much better things in life than trying to cause misery. Ugh, Warren kissing anyone is nauseating. Zero misinformation. Gun is a powerful spell. Yeah, yeah. There was a an angel that I saw, or it was actually like it was like a multi-part storyline where they end up in another dimension that's like a basically like a zero magic D&D world where like everything's like medieval style and serfs and servants and slaves and powerful uh, religious figures and nobility and all that crap, but without any of the trappings of D&D, like magic and stuff. And so obviously like things are very much like the physics there, despite the differences with in terms of how Angel reacts to sunlight and stuff. um, the paradigm of this reality is clearly one that would allow for guns. I mean, the car that they drive into the other dimension with, it still works perfectly well in that other dimension, right? So, yeah, a gun would be like the most powerful spell in that world. Like, you bring a gun and some ammo, you take over that planet or that world or whatever it is. It only seems to have one town and a castle in it, so it probably is like a flat Earth kind of situation. But yeah, it's just funny to think about. I wrote a paper about Jared Diamond's uh, what is it, Guns, Germs, and Steel or whatever at one point, and the paper was so good that the teacher of that class basically said I didn't have to show up anymore. That I had an A in the class, and it was like a few weeks into the class. I don't think I used gun as a spell in that, but whatever. Um, and absolutely no resolution of Amy's attack, really at all. Like it basically never gets mentioned. She doesn't like end up in any trouble or anything. I think by this point in time, Faith was in jail for murder. Um, Willow had been basically browbeaten to the point where she is not even like willing to even think about doing magic in any way, unless basically coerced into it. But Amy just kind of scot free. Whatever. Goodbye.